Winners, Volume 1. Written by Joshua Betker. Narrated by Josh C. Williams. Prologue. There's a certain kind of magic that only happens when two riders move as one. It isn't taught. It isn't practiced. It's felt. A quiet rhythm that settles into the bones long before the engine ever turns over. Some folks call it instinct. Some call it fate. But the ones who've lived it know better. It's a bond. Two riders, two machines, one line through the world. You lean, they lean. You breathe, they breathe. And somewhere between the throttle and the wind, you stop being two people and start being one story. Every great rider remembers the first time they felt it. That moment when the world narrowed to a strip of road, a heartbeat, and the friend riding right beside them. Some people spend their whole lives searching for that feeling. Some are born with it already burning in their blood. This is the story of two of those souls. Two kids who found their other half before they could spell their own names. Two riders who never learned how to go alone. Because some friendships don't just shape a life, they build a legacy. Dedication. For every pair of riders who learned that life gets a little truer, a little louder, and a whole lot sweeter when you've got your best friend in the lane beside you. Here's to the ones who ride together, lean together, and grow old with stories only the road can teach. Chapter 1. The morning of their third birthday didn't begin with a cry or a call for Mom and Dad. It began with the soft, synchronized thud of 4 feet hitting the floor. In the master bedroom, Danny lay awake. He'd spent his life listening to the subtle shifts of the Texas brush, but the sounds in his own house were what fascinated him most. He heard the click of the nursery latch. He didn't need to check the time to know it was exactly 6 a.m. He also didn't need to look into their room to know that the 2 separate beds he and Letitia had bought were untouched. Since they were old enough to climb, Alex and Samantha had spent every night tangled together in a single nest of blankets, a quiet pact made without a word. The door creaked open. They didn't burst in with the usual chaos of toddlers. They walked in, shoulder to shoulder, their movements so aligned it looked like a single shadow splitting in two. They stopped at the edge of the bed, 4 dark eyes fixed on their parents. "We are 3, Samantha said. Her voice was small, but she carried the kind of self-assurance that made her sound years older. 3, Alex echoed. He was the tonal shadow, the confirmation to her lead. Danny sat up, rubbing the sleep from his eyes, and looked at them. Even in the dim light, the connection was palpable. They weren't just siblings, they were a closed circuit. Alex's gaze drifted toward the window. A moth was batting against the glass, caught in the first sliver of the morning sun. His head moved in a smooth, cinematic arc, his eyes locked on the insect's erratic flight with a precision that was eerie for a 3-year-old. He didn't blink, he just tracked the line. Samantha didn't even look at the window. She kept her eyes on Alex, but her own head began to move in the exact same arc, mirroring his tracking perfectly. She wasn't watching the moth, she was feeling what Alex was seeing. "It's fast," Alex whispered, his chin following the moth's dive toward the sill. Danny watched them standing there, shoulder to shoulder at the edge of the mattress. He reached out, his large, calloused hands finding their small waists, and hauled them both up into the center of the bed. "Happy birthday, you two," Danny whispered, his voice low so he wouldn't wake Letitia. He pulled them into the crook of his arms, one on each side. Alex and Samantha went still immediately, tucking their heads into his chest and letting out long, synchronized sighs of contentment. For a few minutes, nobody moved. The only sound was the hum of the air conditioner and the slow, steady rhythm of their breathing. They lay there in the gray morning light, perfectly happy to be small and anchored by him.